Hello. Today we are going to talk about hazardous materials and school buses crossing a railroad track. So first off, we will talk about the things you're going to do as you're approaching the track to prepare to cross a railroad track. All hazardous materials vehicles and school buses or passenger buses of any kind must stop at railroad tracks, tour buses, whatever. Um, so the first thing you're going to do is within 200 feet of the tracks, rather, within 200 feet of the railroad tracks, you're going to turn on your hazard flashers and prepare to stop at the tracks. This is going to warn other drivers that you're getting ready to do something out of the ordinary. You're going to move to the far right lane. On a two-lane highway, sometimes they will provide a railroad safety lane on the right side of the traffic lane. If you're on a four-lane highway, the rightmost lane is what you'll need to be in. Some two-lane highways do not have a rightmost lane. They only have the single travel lane, and in the event that single travel lane, that's where you stop, just in your single travel lane. And again, that's 200 feet from the railroad crossing. You're going to put on your hazard flashers. Then you're going to roll down your windows or open the window if it's a school bus, so that you can hear. You're going to turn off all of your noise in the vehicle. That's going to be fans, heater fans, any radios, anything making noise. In a school bus, you have a noise suppressor switch that you can hit one button and it'll kill all of those things at one time. But you're going to shut off all noise so you can clearly hear. If you're in a school bus and you have children behind you, you should have the children trained that when you pull up to a railroad crossing, they should be quiet. You should have a sign worked out with your passengers that when you pull to a railroad crossing, you need total silence in the bus. And then you've put on your flashers, you've rolled down your windows, you're in your rightmost lane. You're going to stop 15 to 50 feet from the first rail of the tracks. You're going to look both ways and listen. And then another difference in a school bus is you're going to open, or any bus, you might open the entry door on the right-hand side, so that you can hear well on that side as well as the left side, and you have a clear line of view both directions down the tracks. Make sure there's no train coming within sight or hearing of where you are. Your rightmost lane, 15 to 50 feet, noise shut off, look and listen in both directions. And then the final most step, which is one step that many people miss, and this is a major problem because many people miss this step, and it is so important. If you are crossing a track that is near a stoplight or an intersection with a stop sign, you must, and I repeat, you must make sure the containment area on the other side of the tracks is adequate for the vehicle you are driving. For instance, if you are driving a 45-foot truck or bus, you must make sure that the back of your bus has 15 to 50 feet of clearance from the railroad track or your truck, after you cross the track and stop at the stoplight or stop sign intersection that you're approaching. That means if your bus is 45 feet long, you must have 60 to 110 feet of clearance on the other side of the track after you cross. If you're in a semi-truck, if you've got a 53-foot trailer behind a sleeper cab truck, your truck is 70 to 80 feet long. So you're going to have to make sure that you have, if your truck is 70 to 80 feet, then you add your 15 feet. If you're 80 feet, now you're at 95 feet. So you need to be minimum 95 feet up to 140 feet, 145 feet. 95 to 145 feet of clearance on the other side of the track. If you do not have adequate distance, don't commit to crossing that track until you know you have adequate distance. Or if you do not have adequate distance and there's no way of doing that, then you are going to be looking ahead at the intersection, looking both ways to make sure the intersection is clear if it's a stop sign, so that you can get across those tracks and through the intersection without any hindrance of getting you across the tracks, getting your whole vehicle across the tracks and clear of those tracks 15 to 50 feet before making stops. If it is a intersection with a stoplight on the other side of the intersection, you want to make sure that the stoplight has just turned green. And then another very important step is do your checks, again, your left and right checks, looking down the tracks, looking and listening one more time before you proceed, but make that as quick as you can safely make possible. Check and then go and get across those tracks, or get through that intersection and across the tracks quickly, so that you're not at any time setting with any part of your vehicle on or near those tracks. Again, that's a very, very important step that many people miss. So make sure you can clear the intersection with the entire vehicle 15 to 50 feet past the back bumper of your vehicle before you commit to going across. And again, look and listen, look and listen, look and listen. Make sure you have clearance from the trains, as well as the traffic clearance and the intersection clearance beyond the tracks. If you are on a highway or some roads and stuff in town where you don't have an intersection coming up, you're just going straight across and moving on down the road, then you want to keep your hazard flashers on until your vehicle reaches posted speed limit, and then shut your flashers back off. So if you're in a 45 mile an hour speed zone, you'll keep your hazard flashers on until your speed reaches 45 again, and then you can shut those off. If you're on a 65 mile an hour highway, then you'll need to wait till you're at 65 before you shut your flashers off, or within 5 miles an hour of posted speed limit, and shut the flashers back off. Because if you are in, like, say, a semi-truck that's fully loaded, hazardous materials, you are going to take a little bit longer to get back up to speed. And if you're, as soon as you cross the tracks or start to go across the tracks, you shut off your hazards, you got traffic approaching you at 65 miles an hour and you're only doing 40, 45 or less, you have a very high risk of being rear-ended. So keep those four-way flashers on to warn traffic until you are back up to highway speed. So that includes the railroad crossing safety portion for this video. Again, like, subscribe, hit the notification bell, and share the video. Thank you for watching. Have a good day. Bye now.